All right, let's talk about something we all use probably every single day and never ever think about: the sidewalk. We see it as this guaranteed safe zone, right? Well, today we're going to tear that idea down. Because as you're about to see, the real danger is sometimes just inches away.
So think about it. We treat sidewalks like our little refuge from traffic, that strip of concrete that keeps us safe from the cars whizzing by. But what if that feeling of safety is really just an illusion? It's a total paradox when you stop and think about it. The very space that was built to protect us is also the exact place where our world on foot crashes into the world of multi-ton vehicles moving at high speeds.
So what makes this supposedly safe space not so safe? Well, it's not just one thing you can point to. It's more like this whole web of risks all tangled together. You've got the physical environment, and then of course you've got us, people, and all our unpredictable behaviors, all coming together in ways we just don't notice. And what's really fascinating here is how all these things feed off each other. I mean, sure, it starts with the obvious stuff, right? A big crack in the pavement that can trip you up. But now let's say it's also poorly lit. So now you can't see the crack and drivers can't see you. Then throw in a garbage can or a parked car blocking your path. Suddenly you're forced to step off the curb, closer to traffic, all because the sidewalk itself is kind of pushing you into harm's way. And of course, here's the other side of that coin: us. We're all walking around looking at our phones, right? But so are the drivers. So you've got distracted people on foot and distracted people in cars. Then you have these super high-risk spots like driveways. You know the feeling. A car is pulling out. Neither one of you can see the other until the last second. And then there's the absolute nightmare scenario. A driver just loses control and jumps the curb.
This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It's like this collective blind spot we've developed. We've all seen it. The pedestrian head down, buried in their phone. The driver head down, messing with their GPS. Everyone is just kind of hoping that someone else is paying attention. And it's that shared lack of attention that turns a simple walk into something really, really risky.
Okay, that's a lot of doom and gloom. I get it. So let's shift gears and talk about what we can actually do about it. How do we, as the people on foot, take back a little bit of control here? It's time to open up the safety playbook, because there are some real, actionable things you can do to protect yourself.
So if there's no sidewalk, this is probably the most fundamental rule you can learn. When you walk with traffic, your back is to every single car coming up behind you. You are literally just hoping for the best. But the second you turn around and walk facing traffic, the whole game changes. You're not hoping anymore. You have awareness. You can see what's coming. You can make eye contact. You gain those precious few seconds you might need to get out of the way.
And this checklist pretty much boils it all down into what I'd call non-negotiable rules. Number 1, face the cars, always. See what's coming at you. 2, stay as far away from the road as possible. Use the shoulder, use the grass, whatever you can. 3, make yourself impossible to miss. Wear bright colors. At night, carry a light. 4, and this is a big one, put the phone away, take the headphones out. You need all your senses. And finally, if you're with friends, don't walk 3 across. Get into a single file line. These are simple things, but they can be absolute lifesavers.
But let's be real, a pedestrian can do every single one of those things right, and it might not matter if drivers aren't doing their part. Safety is a two-way street, literally. So let's flip the script for a second and look at the huge responsibility that comes with being the one behind the wheel. This breaks down those critical moments. So at a crosswalk, it's not just about yielding to people already in the street. The law often says you have to yield to people who are about to step into the street. For driveways, the big mistake everyone makes is just rolling through. No, the rule is to come to a complete stop before your car even touches the sidewalk. And when you're making a turn, it's so easy to just look for other cars, but you have to remember to look for people crossing the street you're turning onto. And here it is. This might be the single most important rule for any driver to remember. If you see a car stopped at a crosswalk, you do not, under any circumstances, pass them. Ever. You have no idea why they're stopped. It's almost always because someone is crossing right in front of them, someone you can't see. Okay, so we've talked about what we can all do as individuals, but now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. How can we actually build safety right into our streets from the get-go? This is where smart engineering and some cool new tech are really starting to change the game.
Check this out. It's called a curb extension, or sometimes a bulb out. It's such a simple idea, but it's brilliant. It literally just extends the sidewalk out into the street. So what does that do? Well, it makes the street narrower, so you have less distance to cross. It also makes you way more visible to drivers before you step off the curb. And it forces cars to make slower, sharper turns. It's a design that prioritizes people, not just the speed of cars.
And then you start to layer technology on top of smart designs like that. We're talking about crosswalks that actually light up when someone steps into them to warn drivers, cars that are smart enough to see a person and slam on the brakes automatically, and then there's the really futuristic stuff, like V to X, which stands for Vehicle to Everything. That's where your car, the traffic lights, and maybe even a pedestrian's smartphone are all talking to each other, preventing an accident before it can even happen. So we've gone from our personal habits to the rules for drivers, all the way to massive engineering projects. But before we wrap this up, there is one last really surprising twist that kind of challenges one of the most basic assumptions we all have about what a sidewalk even is.
Now, I'm willing to bet this is a question you have never, ever asked yourself. I mean, why would you? We just assume that all sidewalks are public space, free for anybody to use. But is that really true? Can a sidewalk actually be private property?
And the answer, believe it or not, is yes. Absolutely. Just think about it. You've seen them in gated communities, big apartment complexes, or sprawling office parks. In places like that, the sidewalk you're walking on might be privately owned. And that totally changes the rules. It changes who's responsible for things like clearing snow or fixing a crack, and it can even change whether you have a legal right to be there at all.
So there you have it. We started out with the simple idea of a sidewalk as a safe place, and we've ended up uncovering this incredibly complex world of risk, design, law, and even ownership. It all kind of leaves us with one final thought, really, a challenge for all of us. After hearing all this, what's one small, conscious thing you can do this week? It doesn't matter if you're walking or driving, to make that little space right there at the edge of the road just a tiny bit safer for everyone.
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.